You all like lists, don't you? Isn't that why you've tuned into this channel, list after list? Well, boy, oh boy, I've got another list for you, and this time I'm ranking them. I mean, I guess a list you're always ranking them. I'm ranking the games that I played over a little weekend. That's true. Some friends were up from out of town. We had a big old board game weekend. We played a bunch of games, and I'm going to rank them. I'm going to rank them. And really, it's just a video so that I can heap praise upon what the #1 game is. What's that? Well, you'll have to skim through the timestamps and not listen to the rest of the video to find out. But if you do that, well, like and subscribe. And share this video to a friend, or else a ghost will eat you. So let's get into it. There were some truly bad games played, and there were some truly good games played. And don't worry, Cody, I didn't play the truly bad games with you this time. Well, not all of them. Not the worst one. The worst one being The Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. They brought this up. They were like, oh, we unboxed it, and we were really excited to unbox it, and then it was just an electronic mat. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So if you don't know, this is the Tebaru system, or the Taburu system, and I'm saying to burn it system because it's very bad and not satisfying, and you could get this satisfaction out of an app. And if you happen to own this and you want to keep loving it, well, hold your ears close to your chests, take them off, sever them from your body, and press them closely. Hold them and treasure them, because I'm about to remind you that this could have been an app. Like many conversations could have been an email, this could have been an app. And in fact is an app, and is not fun to interact with in the physical realm. So the Tebaru system is the concept of this game, which was their flagship game, and probably their endship game, is that you have these 12 Zodiac monsters, and they're all going to punch you in the face. So it's a big old boss battler, and you're going to go through sort of 12 campaigns. We started a campaign, we fought, and I delivered the finishing blow to the main Zodiac monster, and you can get a whole bunch of different characters. You get to choose your character starting screen, and you get to pick which one of these fun characters you want to play. Do you know how they are different from each other? No. Is there a rule book? No. Can you investigate the attributes of the character beforehand? No. It just says, hey, pick a character, we're going to give you their cards, which are their attacks, and it'll be a little blurb on the screen about what your character does. When you click on that blurb, does it tell you what all your cards do? No. Does it tell you a strategy? Barely. Does it give you any reasonable ways to interact with the strategy of the monster you're facing? No. You just basically click through, and then it's like the monster's gonna shiver and shake. And then do you know how the monster will react? No. Can you make a plan based around what its potential movements are going to be? No. Do you have any indication or any something to hold on to either develop your own personal strategy, or a strategy that the monster will do, or even a strategy with interacting with terrain points until you get hurled against a crystal point and have it explode upon you, or have the monster walk into the light for some reason, or I shoved it, and then it went, ooh, it's allergic to the light, but then it didn't actually do any additional damage or give any additional status things? Probably no. I think the answer to all these questions has been no. Other points that you can do with the bad karmas, sorry, the bad game and the curse of the bad game, is this whole system is designed on that when you move something on the system, it responds and it knows what you've done, right? But every time you move a piece, other than moving, like if you can do your 2 movement steps, it knows where you've gone. But then if you move something around, or when the thing shakes, you know, and moves around the table, you have to physically move the thing that's moved on the app and go, ooh, look, it ran across the board, now it's over here. And then the game asks you, hey, did you finish moving the monster? When that's the whole point of the system, is to know that you're moving the monster, to know that you're interacting with these things. It's just, on top of it all, like your cards can sort of upgrade as you go throughout. Most of my cards felt like they were exactly the same. They put forward this cooldown system that it doesn't feel interesting to interact with. They put down this stance system, which again, you're just kind of like pressing buttons. It's as if, you know, when you go to Board Game Arena and you're like, I want to learn this game, but I don't want to learn the rules, and I just want to push buttons over and over again. It's kind of like that as an experience as it teaches you the game, but I don't see how it's going to get better. Like, you won't eventually learn how the game is played. It's just like, does this do damage? Great. You don't know how much health the monster has, which can be a fun thing. You don't know what you're doing, the exact amount of health, so you can't math out the system in order to try to keep you a little bit more engaged and like, okay, I'm going to try to punch it as hard as I can. I'm going to put myself in a horrible position. But like, even when we got knocked down, it was like, hey, you can pick somebody back up, but you can't do it this turn. Why? We haven't told you, nor will we. Nor did the tutorial cover it. It's just a very unintuitive system that could have been an app. Anything that I interacted with the physical aspects of the board felt like nonsense because we saw a picture of it move and we were just clicking our little cards anyway. And so having a physical component to this thing that's just an app that you've paid like $150 for is absolutely insane. I think this system should be destroyed. I don't think anybody should ever play this system ever. And I think anybody who got it, I'm sorry for all the money that you wasted. Maybe you can pawn it off on another hapless scum who hasn't seen this video. It's not very good. So it's the bottom of the list. But I liked playing it. I like playing it with the people who I was playing with. So at least there's that. But I told them, I was like, listen, I'm going to have to be mean in the video. I hope you're okay with it. But I appreciate you bringing it up and us playing and teaching it to me. Like, that appreciation doesn't change. But yeah, you just really, I don't see how anybody interacting with this could ever have a good time with it, and why this couldn't be an app that you get for $5 on your phone. There's no real reason for the system to exist. For it doesn't even do the thing that it says it's going to do. It's like, have you moved the stuff there? Okay, great. Unless you move a piece in the wrong direction, then it goes, no, we saw you moved a piece incorrectly. And then also you have to shake the dice too. They're like, shake the dice. So of course, you know me, I love shaking dice. I shake dice all the time, right? I just shake it all the time. But you can shake the dice in a way, and then it says, okay, now roll the dice, and then you could just put the dice down on the table and have it register a 6. So you can do that with any dice game. Like, you can just cheat with any dice game, it doesn't matter. But that just shows the limitations of this like system. In a way, it's like, yeah, you got a 6. It's like, no, you didn't actually. We didn't actually roll the dice. You know, I guess it might be more fun if you could chuck the dice across the room. I like Jumanji it, and it's like, oh, whatever happened. But again, you have to have it be close to, I think, close to the system. I don't know. We always rolled it onto the board, but I bet you could roll it off the board because I think it syncs with the dice or whatever it is. It's just like so completely pointless. It is the old man shouting at clouds when I say this is everything wrong with the direction that the board gaming industry could go, and this is not the innovation that we need. So that's number, how many games do we have? We have 13 games, because I'm not including a couple of prototypes that we played, that we tested for our neighbor and not friend, Yuval. Oh, I'm in a different shirt because I didn't write down that I played this, and I think I blocked it out of my memory, and then I was doing crowdfunding countdown, and I realized, oh, this reminds me of Mission Catastrophe, and I don't think I filmed it to add into GeorgeCon, so this comes right after Bad Karmas. This is also last. This game is really bad, and nobody should ever try it or get it, ever. Sorry, Cardboard Alchemy, you make good stuff other than this. It's really, really bad. It's just like inherently completely flawed. The concept sounds good, and I'd heard good things about it too. You're essentially on this ship where you all can have a asymmetric power. You're running around the ship. You're trying to get 4 different colors and then get to an escape pod and leave. That's it. But every turn, we played a 6-player, you roll the dice, it'll ping off one of the health of a room, and then if that room gets completely depleted, people in it just basically die. And so in it, you can die and lose all your cards. Well, you don't die, you just lose all of your cards, which the whole point of the game is collecting cards. And so it's just this weird random punishing thing where if you're like, okay, my numbers come up 3 times since my last turn, especially if I'm playing a 6-player game, I guess I lose all the progress that I've made. It feels so bad. It's just really awful. Like, there are so many ways that we were hypothesizing about how to improve this game and make it better, and it's so shocking that none of the game didn't really implement it. But you can also be saved from this if you've managed to find a weird spacesuit, which, if somebody has a spacesuit, they just are better than everybody else. And the game ends if there are too many cubes that are removed, and so you're supposed to be incentivized to fix the ship, but since it's an every person for themselves style game, you're not incentivized to fix the ship, And if people don't fix the ship, then you just lose. It's just so incredibly bad. If somebody asks you to play this game, say no. The minis are nice, but that's it. It is astonishing to me how something of such poor quality can exist in the world, and there was zero fun had by anybody around the table, and we all thought it was a very bad game. And we were really sad about it because we all had heard good things, and we had all been excited about it, but there's just a punishing slowdown of the game where like you have a hand of cards and then magically you can lose them all. It just doesn't work whatsoever as a semi-co-op game. It is truly terrible and should also be at the bottom of the list. I'm glad I remembered it so I can warn people against it. It is just very bad. Number 12 was fine. It should not have a 7.9 on Board Game Geek. It has 136 people who are rating this? Absolutely not. This is not that. This is Sonic Roll. This is a solid, 5 out of 10 on the Chris scale, a 1 out of 10 on the Zach scale. Sonic Roll, you will get Amy, the famous hedgehog, and you will get to choose what color dice you roll. You will roll those dice, and then you must place them on one of these pathway cards. It is a semi-cooperative because you're trying to get the most points, but everybody can lose. Once you clear a number of these stages, then you can proceed to the final boss. And basically, it's like, did you roll a 5 blue? Great, you can put a dice there. Did you roll a 3 of anything? Great, you can put a dice there. And anytime you put something down, you then trigger the effect, which will be, hey, take a villain, or hey, get rings or something. Now, the key to this is that you have to use all of your dice. And so you might have more dice, but then if you can't use them, then you get damage and you get a time token being taken away. And so it's kind of threading the needle of, am I using these dice correctly? Every time you place a dice, you have to re-roll all of your dice as well. So you're constantly re-rolling and Sonic rolling your dice. It was fine. I would play it again, but it didn't thrill me. I think also too, like Tails has an ability where they have a dice that can help manipulate things. And I was sitting at 4th position away from Tails. So no way was I ever going to get to use it. I mean, normally Tails uses it, and then the next person after it uses it, etc., etc. Again, it was fine enough, but Amy sucks for a reason, and that's the reason I lost. And, well, we all lost, actually. We all tied, which was honestly the best course, the best solution for me, because I was so far behind that a communal loss at least made us all feel horrible about ourselves. Now we're getting into some good games. We have Wandering Towers. I hadn't played Wandering Towers yet. It had gone pretty far in the top 6 player games. And it's a fun enough game, a quick little thing. I'm mad I lost to a tiebreaker. I was so friggin' annoyed. But essentially, you'll get a bunch of cards, and then you can choose to move the towers or move your wizards. You want to drop all of your wizards into this black tower, and you want to flip all of your potions over, which you do by moving towers onto other wizards and just snuffing out their lifeblood and sucking them dry in the darkness, and then revealing them, and then they're fine. The wizards are fine. You just sucked them dry in the darkness, and then they went on their way. It's a completely lovely Saturday night. Yeah, that's the whole game. There are also some potential powers that you can use in the middle, but apparently when you use those, well, that makes you lose the game. You lose the tiebreaker because you don't have enough potions. So yeah, it was fun enough. A quick, light game. Easy filler game to play at 6 players. Nothing too spectacular, but quite nice. Number 10 is DCeased Gotham City Outbreak. I played this at Niagara Board Game Weekend, and I got to play it again. And I got to play with the actual correct rules, and the actual correct rules were fun. We won pretty handily. But I enjoyed managing the different monsters as they popped out. It's just Zombicide, right? Zombicide is great. The trick to this, and it must be the same in Marvel Zombies, is every turn you get power, and you can use that power to add dice to your roll. And I really like that as a mitigating mechanism, especially because in like Black Plague, you just have to keep on searching for weapons that will be good for you. And if you don't find them, then you're just screwed and you got to run away from the zombies. And so I think you find the fear a little bit more there. I definitely felt more fear when we were playing it incorrectly. This definitely made the game a little bit more easy. But yeah, it was definitely fun to play. The scenarios were cool. We fought Mr. J, so that was fun. I wasn't Harley Quinn, even though I can do a fantastic impression of her. Mr. J, I am Harley Quinn. So there was the bat signal, though. We did have the bat signal in play, and we didn't even need to use it because we're so good at the game. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little Zombicide thing. I think I like Black Plague more because it feels a little bit more epic. Like, this is a smaller, condensed Zombicide in a box, and I think for that, it does a really good job. But I think for my Zombicide, I want more epic because the mechanics are light, and so if you get that epic, then it feels like you've invested more positive time. Bosa was a cute little one that was new for me. Essentially, you're building a 4x4 grid. There'll be a market of 4 cards. You take one of them, you put it in your grid, and then you'll either activate the row or the column. And whenever you activate it, you either get resources or you spend those resources for points. That's it. You're building the best engine, and then you also have these personal objectives, which you're trying to complete as well. So I had one where I wanted purple to be surrounded by different colors, and so I was trying to get as many purple cards as possible, and it all chained together. We played this at 6. It worked quite well at 6, I find. A great little filler game, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it. We played it at 5, because it only plays up to 5. Yeah, a nice, light, little filler game, quite enjoyable, turning resources into points. Check it out. Next up, we have Power Vacuum, which I think the review for that has now gone out. I will make sure it will go out before this video. That will determine what comes out first. I quite like Power Vacuum. It was great. I got to play it at 5, and I needed to play it at 5 because I wanted to feel the whole sort of gamut of player count. And so it's very nice to play it at 5. If you want more information about Power Vacuum, you can check out the review. I'm not going to talk about it too much here. Oh, wait, I am, because it's a list. It's a list. And I want to be the supreme treasonous appliance. The core element of Power Vacuum is a trick-taking game with this fiddly thing in the middle, where you're trying to shift power from one color to another color because you have a secret agenda where you want one color to have the most power at the end of the round and one color to have the least power at the end of the round. If you do, then you'll get a bunch of points based upon when you revealed that information. If you reveal it early on, you'll get more points, and if you revealed it later, being like, oh, I see the tide, yes, I'll reveal it later. You also get points if you win tricks. So if you lose tricks, you get to control the flow of power. If you win tricks, play the highest number, or play the lowest number, I should say, because it's possible to win a trick with the lowest number if you're playing Trump. If you use the lowest number, you get to manipulate the power. If you win a trick, you get points as well. Or you can keep cards for the next round. Solid game. You can go check out the review, and you go check out the review because you can win a copy, I think, in the US and the EU, but not the UK. So check that out. And there's a secret code word in there. And it's not the code word at the end. And I'm going to check if you edited your comment. You had one chance. You had one chance. If you go back and you edit your comment, no. And I'm going to check for duplicate comments too. Serves you right, not watching the video. Number 7. Number 7 is Attack on Titan, deck building game. I love Attack on Titan. The last time I did my ranking, it was number 2. Will it stay as number 2? It was number 7 on here. I don't know. I really like Attack on Titan. I hadn't played this game in a while. We played a 3-player game. We upped the difficulty a little bit. It's a hard game. It's a really hard game, even if you know the game, even if you're throwing out potential strategies. We died. We got wrecked. We were on a good path, and then we got really wrecked. But it was fun. I love the aspect of moving people on the board. I think that's really cool. And moving people to get to powerful cards. And we ramped up somebody with a lot of movement, with a lot of power, and then he didn't have any movement. And so he was just sitting there being like, I'm ready to fight! And the Titans were like, all right, we're going to walk over here and destroy your entire world. He's like, no, come back over here, come back to me! And that didn't happen. But yeah, this game is great. I really love this game. Oh, how brutal. You should have protected against that ambush. That ambush destroying a maneuver you played this turn. Oh, brutal. Brutal. Anyway, Attack on Titan is great. I love the game. Why is it only at 7? It's not always going to hit my, best gaming experience ever. I think it depends on the play, depends on if there were, epic moments. It's just like a standard one. And I also hate Levi. Oh, Levi sucks with his maneuvers. But I really liked it. I did really enjoy it because often when I'm playing with people who haven't, I was playing with one person who never played it. Ken had never played it before. You've all played it once, but that was it. And so generally when that happens, I'll try to do a support deck build and make sure that they get all the fun, powerful cards. So I like doing that. We did have Connie on our team. We should have won, but what can you do? Number 6 was a 6-player game of The Hunger. I have the Hunger High Stakes expansion, but we didn't play with that. But I'm excited to play with it, for sure. George and Ken got that for me, which was very nice of them. The Hunger was fun. This is the first time that I've ever played The Hunger where I made it back to the castle. I went and I got a rose, and I made it back to the castle. Now, I did have a parasol. So I immediately grabbed a parasol, which I feel like is the most overpowered, broken item in the game, and probably shouldn't be played with realistically to ramp up the difficulty, because somebody just having an extra turn is just so overpowered. However, I got it, and I used it, and I won, so I don't care. I don't care. Hunger is great. The hunger is very funny, and I think I like the hunger a lot more than Clank. We're doing games that killed other games. I think for me, hunger kills Clank. I think it does. I like the powers in Clank though more. I think they're both good, but this gives me that boom or bust situation. I love that only 2 people made it back and scored points, and I think that is such a fun aspect in the game, that everything you just did was basically worth nothing. I just think that's really fun for me to laugh at. Ha ha ha. So the Hunger was number 6. If you're looking for a deck building game, a push your luck game, if you haven't heard of the Hunger, I've talked about it a few times on the channel. Basically, you're vampires, you gotta run out of your castle, get over and hunt some humans, eat the humans, and then run back to the castle. I also was very excited about this build that I had, because I got 2 familiars, which every time I played a human that was worth 1 or 2 points, I got like 1 or 2 movement or buying power. And so I knew that I built up my deck in that way, that I would have that extra movement. So I was able to take a lot more risks, which was a very fun build to experiment with. Number 5 was Millenium Blades. Millenium Blades I didn't teach at level up. It was taught to me at level up, and then I taught it to, we played with a full contingent of 5 people over the weekend as well. And it was a great time. And also, I found out that a rule that we played wrong in Level Up, which really changes a lot of the game. So if anybody played it with me at Level Up, well, I think I've talked to most of you. I don't know. When you take an action, you're supposed to flip a card face down. And we definitely didn't do that. We were saying you could do one action. You could use that action on your turn, like as many times as you wanted. And so people were creating these completely broken combos. And then in the rule book, it said, hey, if you make a broken combo, you win. And so still could have been a potential there. But I know for me, there was one guy who I just kept making everybody fight and brawl every single round. And they kept on tying, and I got a bunch of points in it. And I shouldn't have been allowed to do that. So it has to deal a lot more with flipping cards up and down. I really like this game. I think the frenetic nature is fun. I think building a set is really neat. I like the tension of, oh, I've thrown away all my cards, and now I don't have a deck that has any synergy. And it is a really, really great game. So I'm happy that Reed has a copy and that I was able to teach it to Reed. That was lovely. Number 4 is Revive. I got to play Revive again. I hadn't played it in literally a year. That's also why I like the Board Game Stats app, if you're tracking your plays, because I can say yeah, I felt like I played this recently, but I was accurate. I was like, I think I played this last time a year ago, and that's exactly when it happened. So it's nice to get to the table again. Revive is a great game. It is, okay? Stop saying it's not, it is. Revive, the premise of Revive is you're all emerging from the cryogenic slumber that you were in, and are going to now explore and inhabit the land that was frozen over in ice. And you're going to be doing a bunch of things, but exploring the land is going to give you new cards and new points, and you have to spend resources on that. Putting down little houses is going to increase you upon these 3 technology tracks, which you get, points for doing that, and new actions for doing that. And then also you're going to be putting out little population markers, which that is put in an incorrect spot in this picture, because they can only go on the cities or on these edges. But those will, guess what? Also unlock abilities on your own player board and give you more points as well. It's a fantastic game. You want to chain these things together, explore a lot of the land, get as many points as you can, and then fulfill your end game goals. On your turn, you can do actions. Those actions usually involve playing a card or building a thing, like exploring, putting a person down, putting a worker down, or putting a card under one of these slots and doing the top or the bottom action. And then you can chain extra abilities that you activate, which give you more and more resources. A solid game, a great Euro game, just truly a wonderful design. And so obviously it was great to play that again, so that's why that one came in at number 4. Number 3 was Nemesis. Oh, Nemesis. No, I won this game of Nemesis. Do I have my little trophy here? Why, yes, I do have my alien trophy 3D printed. My goal for this round of Nemesis, I was the pilot, and my goal was to make sure that one player stayed alive. That's all. That's it. Zach and I quickly, strangely, this might be the first time it's ever happened, I earned Zach earned my trust, which has really never happened before. He made a taser and he was just going to trade me the taser. I was like, Zach, what are you doing? He's like, as long as you make sure the ship is going where I need it to go, and we're both in agreement of that. I was like, yeah, that could go where you need it to go. I don't care. He's like, great. I'm happy to trade you anything. I was like, that's too much, Zach. That's amazing. We played with the vents little mini expansion. They were promo cards. They made everybody able to travel through the vents, which was fun, but yeah, I don't know if I'd include them or not, like, consistently. And then we also played with secret goals, not secret goals, but a card that you could upgrade and add to your deck if you upgraded it. For me, it was like to kill an alien with the last weapon of my gun. And I was so dead set on trying to pursue that. We also had Nemesis bingo going on because we wanted to play multiple games of Nemesis over the weekend. Anyway, so I made sure Zach stayed alive. He jumped in the hibernation pod. And then I just tried to help everyone else. But you know what people did? Ken friggin' dragged me. He said the whole time that he was trying to kill me, and then I thought he might have had a change of heart. He dragged me over to the escape pod. I was like, Ken, listen, I have a key that I've unlocked. I can unlock the escape pod. We can escape together. Like, let me help you. I want you to be able to succeed. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. We get to the escape pod. He drops a smoke bomb in my location, drags an alien in there, and then runs away. And so I haul my friggin' carcass out of the escape pod area, throw it into a fire room. I'm burning. I'm set on fire. Meanwhile, Ken's humdy-dum run back to the hibernation chamber, hopped into the hibernation chamber without making any noise, so it's completely surrounded by noise in a fit of maniacal randomness. And so I get there. I have one play. It's the last turn of the game. I've dragged myself there. I've got to get into the hibernation chamber without activating an alien. There's noise all around me. I activate. Obviously, I roll the noise. An alien appears. I have to draw from the token, but it was the blank token, baby. No alien appeared. I jumped myself into the hibernation chamber. George threw himself into the hibernation pod. All four of us lived. And guess what? I completed my objective, and so did Zach. And Ken did not because he chose murder. And then so the second number 2 was Nemesis Lockdown, which was just horrific. It was just completely horrible because myself and Ken started together down below in the isolation chamber, isolated with my Nemesis because the survivor is supposed to be whoever the red character is in the main game, and the survivor is the pilot. I was the survivor, and Ken was the bird box one. The ghoul, the test subject, who's the scout, essentially. So we both started down there, and again, me trying to be a team player, I decided not to pick the one where I'd have to murder somebody. I decided to pick the objective where I needed knowledge. And so all I needed to do was find some knowledge. And luckily, Ken wasn't trying to kill me this time. He'd learned from his ways, and I thought maybe we could all work together. I put myself in danger to start, but I was safe. Turned on all the lights, which enabled everybody to come down to the bottom, and then people just ran into my room and forced noise rolls to happen so that aliens appeared. Aliens immediately appeared. I tried to leave the space. They all did horrible wounds on me. So from like turn 2 of the game, I was wounded, seriously wounded with 2 wounds. And in Nemesis Lockdown, if you draw, some of the cards are like, hey, if you have 3 wounds, you die instead of 4. I managed to haul my carcass one way. I patched myself up, and the only reason I was going down is because I thought there was a facehugger in Zach's room, and then he's like, oh no, sorry, it's on my character sheet. I was like, you piece of garbage. So I took these wounds for no reason, but the survivor also benefits if they do have wounds. There's a card where they can draw additional cards. So I ended up getting 3 serious wounds, but I managed to dress all 3 of them. So then this card was like, this engine was starting to work, and I was like, okay, I just need a little bit of time to breathe. I can get to the tech lab with these people were dropping alien bodies all over the place. So I picked up a body. I had no weapons. I didn't have any weapons for the whole game. So I just picked up bodies and were carrying them around with me, hoping to jump through the vents, but I couldn't jump through the vents because I would get an attack from the adult alien on me if I went through the vents. And if the alien attacked, well, I was going to be screwed because it would deal a serious wound and then I would die because I was already so wounded from the very beginning of the game. And so I had to like sort of make my way the long way around. And then Dirk decided to just turn on the self-destruct sequence. He's like, hey, that's my objective. I'm like, Dirk, you're surrounded by aliens. You're never getting out. He's like, that's my objective. I was like, oh my God. Meanwhile, Zach has been chasing me this whole game because he, of course, chose the objective to kill me to make sure I don't stay alive. So he's been shutting doors all around me, slamming them shut, trying to lock me into rooms, trying to throw aliens in my path, also scooping up the bodies because he knows I need the bodies. He's like, yeah, I'm carrying them too, because he saw me picking up bodies. Just horrendous. I somehow managed to escape from Zach. I managed to make a push away from the aliens. I draw out my turn long enough that Zach has to pull an alien in his way. I'm surrounded on two sides from an alien. I take one Hail Mary. I've delayed it, so we've gone through the deck a little bit more. I then go through the vents. I don't get attacked by an alien. I am one step away from the research lab and the emergency room, which are side by side, so I can heal my wounds and I can research myself up to level 7 knowledge and then make it out of the building. And what happens? A random roll. I had a 20% chance of getting this alien to come. I've been making these hero rolls all game. I've been struggling and just fighting the whole game, only having 4 cards, only 4 actions instead of 5 for most of the game. And then what happens is on the last roll that I needed to succeed, an alien shows up, attacks me, and kills me dead. And it was so heartbreaking because the whole game I was like, I am surviving! I'm the survivor! And I was on such a high, and then my carcass was cast asunder. And if that hadn't happened, I would have had enough turns to heal myself, to be able to move safely, make it to the rover, get out of there alive. But unfortunately, it was not to be. And the poor survivor did not survive. And it was devastating. I was so sad. I was so sad. I was like so close. And I had to do, I'd been doing the impossible the whole game. And then to have that just be wrenched from my grasp at the end and to let Zach maniacally win both games of Nemesis when he used to be my friend. Oh, it was just heartbreaking. But I think that's also why Nemesis ends up being up at the top here for me. It's also one of those games where, like, I like to play a lot of different games. So when the thing put forward was like Nemesis bingo, and we're gonna play like multiple rounds of Nemesis in a weekend, I was like, yeah, but that's going to take up so much time. We're not going to get like the flexibility to play a bunch of different games. And so I wasn't really that enthusiastic about it. But playing Nemesis, then playing Nemesis Lockdown and having the same character and seeing like the emergent narratives and the stories that came out of it, again, solidified that like mechanically the game isn't that good, you know? I don't think the mechanics of the game are actually like that interesting. And I don't think like it's actually a good game in a sense if you just look at it mechanically. But if you get into it and you see the emergence narrative that happens and the stories that come out of it, you can have really memorable experiences. Even if like the experiences aren't balanced, you know, I chose the hardest objective, whatever. Other people had super easy objectives like my first game, which is just survive, you know? Even in that case, you still get these really like fun narratives that can happen and can go through the game, and it makes for a fun time. And it's such a weird game in that way that like I don't think I actively enjoy playing it because I don't enjoy the mechanics of it. Like I think, but then I really enjoy playing with it because you're left with these memories and these like visceral experiences. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun. Like it was in my top 20 when I ranked it, and it probably will be pretty close. Like it's really good. I think Lockdown is the better version because the threat of what's going to happen at the end of the game and that you have to figure it out from other people, it makes it a little bit harder to win the game, which I think is important. But yeah, it's fun. It was such a disappointment, but it was fun. Yeah, there was my isolation chamber right there. Unfortunately, not to be. But a flamethrower was made, and that was pretty cool to see. So there you go. And then the number 1 game was a new game that I'd never played before. Reed brought it over. I'd wanted to try it. It is the 3rd in a series, or it is part of the series. We have Cyclades, or Cyclades, if you're nasty. We played the Legendary Edition of Cyclades, and I have to say, and I was saying this throughout the game, because I was thinking about like reviewing it and whatever, I have to say that it kind of earns its legendary status. You know, I was trying to compare between the base game and the Legendary Edition, and the differences between the two, I think the base game is like 60 or 70 bucks, and this was like 110, 120, something like that. And the minis in it are great. The presence of the houses on the board is also really great. Normally, yeah, you'd see these little monuments. They're upgraded to 3D versions. I think that was really good. I think both versions of this game are quite good, and man, oh man, it was a lot of fun. I think this might be my favorite out of the three of Kemet, Inish, or Cyclades. It was really, really good. Everybody throughout the game felt like they were within striking distance of winning. And I think that's so cool. That's such a cool aspect of the game. That's like, okay, if these things fall in your favor, you can take the win. Because all that it takes to win are controlling 3 like monuments. And so the monuments are comprised of like one of every city, and then you get to form them into a monument. I really like that. I really like that that's how people were feeling. Like, that's how I was feeling. That's how Zach was feeling. Neither of us won. But yeah, and I also really enjoy this bidding structure. You will bid every round on an ability and action, essentially, and then you'll activate them from top to bottom, and then you'll shuffle those and you'll draw them out again. And the ones that haven't been chosen, they will appear next time. So there's always this cycle, but then there's a little bit of randomness to it as well, which was super fun. The monsters were pretty fun to engage with. Having a hero is really fun to engage with, especially because the heroes can be sacrificed, and then you can sacrifice them and essentially just get points that way, which was huge. It was really good. It was really good. I spent most of the game going, wow, this is fun. Oh man, this is fun. It is like area control at its purest form, with an auction mechanic to engage in, but you're getting resources that you then spend on actions and on bidding. And so having a huge stack is great, because then you can dominate both of those things, but it's very easy for your stack to be whittled down quickly. So yeah, I can't speak more highly about Cyclades. I think I saw that there were review copies for the retail version that I like submitted for one, because I'd be interested to see the difference of the retail and the legendary edition. But honestly, I think the legendary earns its spot. And you know me, as somebody who like doesn't like deluxified games, everything in that game felt great to interact with. And I was like, yeah, these deluxifications feel earned, they feel usable, they feel very fun, and I really enjoyed interacting with them. Of course, I'd be fine if the heroes were standees, and honestly, they might be a little bit more readable if they were standees, the heroes and the monsters. But if you wanted the table presence, yeah, it was really good. And I liked the 3D buildings for sure, just like I liked the 3D buildings in Rising Sun. This was really good. It's a really, really good game. I'm so happy that I got a chance to play it. And it was by far like one of the best games that I have even played this year, really. I really, really liked it. And so if you get a chance to play Cyclades or Cyclades, do it, because it was very fun. So that was it. There's a little recap for you. It went a bit longer than I expected it to, but of course I had some stories to tell. I hope you've been playing great games recently. What do you think of the games that I said here? Have you tried them? Have you not? Are you gonna? Do you have a Tebaru system and you hate me now? I'm sorry, but I'll always be truthful to you, except in the parts where I'm not, but I won't tell you when those parts are, so I'll just say I'm truthful the whole time. Right? Well, that's generally how lying works, so I guess I got that right. Thanks everybody for watching. Drop your thoughts down below. I like hearing from you. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, but I do like hearing from my friends. So I hope you tell me something good. Okay, goodbye.